Well, y'all know it's gonna be a fun video. It's gonna have a random fucking thing in the background. I'm probably gonna show receipts and all that fun stuff. So, basically, what we're getting at today is I'm talking about the Yuzu emulator. The fact that it is fucking gone. The fact that you can't access it. The the whole thing really. My thoughts, all that. Because you know what, this is something that I actually care about. I know it's not Siege. I know it's not some stupid shit post, but look, I care about it, right? And here's the thing. So basically, Yuzu, for those of you who don't know, is a Nintendo Switch emulator made by Tropic Haze. So is Citra, by the way, because it's just going to come up later too. And, well, Nintendo sued Tropic Haze for uh, allegedly, yeah, Nintendo alleges anyway, that um, the emulator Yuzu facilitates piracy on a massive scale, right? Like it facilitates a whole bunch of piracy, right? And I feel like this all kind of came to a head when Tears of the Kingdom was initially getting ready for its launch. I feel like what is it, like a week or two, something like that, before the launch. Um, somebody had access to the production chains or whatever of Tears of the Kingdom, and Tears of the Kingdom's entire game was basically leaked online. For the whole world to play. The whole world to play real fucking early too. I mean, that was a tragedy for Nintendo, I guess. But yeah, I feel like that's where it all came to a head because a whole lot of people kind of ruined that and launched it early for anybody to play, so long as you had a powerful PC. But here, let's get into it though, because Nintendo won, obviously. But here's what Yuzu had to say about them, the shutting down the victory that Nintendo had. Hello, Yuzu users and Citra fans. We write today to inform you that Yuzu and Yuzu's support of Citra are being discontinued effective immediately. Yuzu and its team have always been against piracy. We started the projects in good faith, out of passion for Nintendo and its consoles and games, and we're not intending to cause harm, but we see now that because our projects can circumvent Nintendo's technological protection measures and allow users to play games outside of authorized hardware, they have led to extensive piracy. In particular, we have been deeply disappointed when users have used our software to leak game content prior to its release and ruin the experience for legitimate purchasers and fans. Like I said, that's most likely them talking about the Tears of the Kingdom leak that happened pretty fucking early. So, I'm gonna read more. Their site's not up anymore, so I had to pull up a YouTube video and an archive for a lot of this stuff, but we have come to the decision that we cannot continue to allow this to occur. Piracy was never our intention, and we believe that piracy of video games and on video game consoles should end. Effective today, we will be pulling our code repositories offline, discontinuing our Patreon accounts and Discord servers, and soon shutting down our websites. We hope our actions will be a small step toward ending piracy of all creators' works. Thank you for your years of support and understanding our decision. So, yeah, that fucking sucks. Yuzu's gone. Assassinated. They had the fucking katana put to their neck. Had their assholes resized. Nintendo whipped out their fat cock and just. So yeah, that's a fucking tragedy right there. But I mean, yeah, Yuzu's gone like the wind. So another huge thing here is Nintendo is seeking $2.4 million in like compensation, I suppose, legal damages, not legal damages, but financial damages from the piracy that happened through the use of Yuzu, I guess. And I feel like the only real good end about it is probably because Yuzu didn't, wasn't necessarily profiting off of this, and they definitely did not make no $2.4 million off it, right? It's making an emulator is really more of a thankless thing, but I feel like the best outcome here is the Yuzu developers, Tropic Haze, are probably just going to file for bankruptcy, and Nintendo's just not going to see a dime. But I feel like it's not even really about the money for Nintendo. So with the final judgment though, basically looking at the legal files here, other than Nintendo winning, but their main case was Yuzu circumvented the technology measures and allowed for people to play the encrypted Nintendo Switch games on devices after, after the dumping and all that, because Yuzu executes code that decrypts the Nintendo Switch games, including the component files. And yeah, so you can play anything, even unauthorized copies of Nintendo Switch games or their cryptographic keys. And yeah, I'm kind of advocating for the devil here, but that Nintendo had a point there because Yuzu did offer on their website. It's gone now, so I can't show you, and it's also not legal to show you a step-by-step guide on how to circumvent Nintendo's security measures, their technological measures to get your product keys, get your BIOS, and your games all ripped for the use of emulation. And yeah, I mean this I guess brings me to my next point. I feel like if you own the system, if you bought the system, if you bought the games, you should be allowed to do whatever the hell you want with them as long as you're not distributing them the files like online. You should be able to do whatever the fuck you want. Take for instance my Nintendo Switch. If I wanted to hack my Nintendo Switch and make it a fucking DS emulator, not that I think you could, I should be allowed to do that. Especially because I own a DS, right? And I, I mean, shit, right? I mean, I use my Switch daily, so it's not really a big deal for me. I didn't really emulate Switch games very often. I did try to emulate Tears of the Kingdom when I bought it and ripped it and put it on my PC, but I I vastly preferred to play it on the Switch, despite the frame rate and the fact that it looked like shit. But the the basic gist of it is though, Nintendo won, and they won because they had a pretty good thing, and Yuzu practically just surrendered. They bent over, opened their asshole, let Nintendo have their way with them, and yeah. So this leads me to another point though. One, emulation is not illegal. You can emulate your games so long as you own the game and own the console, right? Uh, take this standpoint that in my opinion, and I'm pretty sure pretty much everyone's opinion really, um, emulation is not meant for piracy. It is more of a preservation method, right? Because these games, these consoles, these systems, not gonna last forever, right? Your Switch one day will die. The battery will shit itself. Something on the inside, something will go wrong that cannot be fixed easily or at all, right? Take for instance my Nintendo DSi XL. Literally, just last night I got this thing launched. I don't know when it launched. I'll put it on screen. I'll look it up later. But I got this thing launch day, right? It still turns on. It still does its thing, right? See? It turns on. But it does not play games anymore. The fucking I don't know what the hell happened with the cartridge slot, but last night when I went to go pop in Phantom Hourglass to play Phantom Hourglass, I was able to get it in, right? But it it doesn't read the game. It hardly locks the game in place. And when I try to take the game out, it doesn't eject the game. I don't know what's wrong with it, but I mean overall the repeated use of the cartridge slot, I kind of saw it coming, right? So that's a case where I feel like the preservation of the system via emulation, be it the DS emulator on the Android market called Drastic, or if you're one of those people, uh, DESMUME. I don't know how to pronounce it. I'm not gonna try to pronounce it. I'm not gonna make a fool of myself. Um, I feel like that's perfectly valid, and I mean those aren't illegal to exist. You are allowed to have those. That brings me to another point though. Drastic, the DS emulator on Android, used to cost about $7. It is free now because of these court proceedings with Yuzu, which good. That's kind of saving their ass because charging for an emulator is it's profiting off something, but at the same time, Nintendo shouldn't care. They're not supplying DSs anymore. They're not supplying the games anymore. You know, the fucking Nintendo Switch Online expansion pack doesn't supply DS games. I can't play Animal Crossing Wild World anymore without a DS. Thank God for the DSi. I can't play, or not the DSi, the 3DS. I can't play fucking. I, I can't play 3DS Minecraft anymore. I didn't have a 3DS until tomorrow, essentially. I'm borrowing one from someone, but the eShop's closed. The Wii U eShop's closed, so I can't get virtual console shit. I yeah, I can't play my GBA backlog anymore without emulation. And I own all these systems. These systems are just kind of laying around, dying, dead, or just hardly work anymore. And without the preservation of emulation and the backing up, the backing up of my ROMs through legal means, I wouldn't be able to play these games anymore. The only thing that I could not back up is my GBA because I don't know how. I don't know how to back up any of that. And yeah, I mean, what the hell else are you supposed to do? And also at the same time, the whole reason people probably pirate to begin with is because some games are fucking ridiculous to play. Like imagine you want to play Earthbound, right? I know now you can play it via Nintendo Switch Online's, expansion pack. But imagine that wasn't there. Imagine Nintendo didn't offer that avenue, and you can't get it through. I believe it was the Wii U eShop that had it, and you can't get it through that now. So you can't play the virtual console version. Just the fucking game alone, loose, is being sold, sponsored by eBay no less, for $389.99. Nobody's gonna fucking pay this scumbag that. At least no one in the right mind. And then there's another one, $399.99. Earthbound, Super Nintendo SNES, 1995, authentic game cartridge, tested working. $299.99. The game complete inbox, working saves, $1,525. No one's paying for that. Thank God that Nintendo is offering a way to play it. Otherwise, people are gonna pirate it. People are going to fucking pirate it, without a doubt. Because without the offer to play these games would die without emulation, without these archiving and all that, right? So that's kind of where it all falls, you know? And yeah, I personally think too, depending on the situation, okay, don't get me wrong, piracy is wrong legally. I think piracy morally in the situation, in the event of games that you literally cannot get any other way, cannot play anymore any other way, piracy in those situations is really your only bet. I think morally piracy is fine in that kind of situation. I do not endorse piracy. I do not pirate games myself. But there are situations where it's kind of the only way. And with that said, this shitty little rant time video that is either going to blow over horribly, get no views, all that, whatever. I don't care. It's my channel. I'll post what I want. But with that said, that's about it, guys. If you watched it, thanks for watching, and yeah, I'll see you later.